Step 3 events, your satisfaction, our priority. This is a disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this show by the host do not necessarily state or reflect those of the channel. Furthermore, the views and the opinions of the guests do not reflect those of the host and the channel.
Thank you, Nyabonga. Welcome to the Mfomfimfo Show. Estyle sankhona lamhlanje is mazowe crash, every crash, all forms of crashes ikhona Estyle in number one leading podcast in Ndebele land. This is corner Estyle Ndebele crash. Ngibabonisa umphakathi. Exactly. Lamhlanje Estyle ngiphethe un lady Tshawe. Simplest form.
Yes.
Then ngicela marathon lay. Noma Shawekazi Michelle Sangwe Inkosi Damasane. Amen.
Before you say amen, indodakazi kaMpangazitha uqhube ngelaqhwala iqhwala libe lidolo kuphela umambanjwa sigodamela. Amen.
Eshe bayethe wena wezulu. Ngiyakwamukela siswami.
Ngiyabonga.
Welcome Enkundleni
Finally. Thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to this session.
Bekusalani all along.
Amanzi etiye njengoba libona vela kula tiye. I decided let me just come. Because I kept saying, guys, my tech writer, can I please have tea? Make sure we at least and you kept saying, working on it. And eventually I said, let me just come.
Thank you for saying let me just come, because I think I don't know how many times. She's coming. Okay. Sebuya. Yes, no, it doesn't come out well. Sebuya ngime. But finally today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Ndebele crash why ungamphathela ngiskipha kanlami?
Isize yakho ngiswele.
Medium. Angikhonga ngogodi.
No, I want you to come and get it from the shop so that you take a picture with our Ndebele crash sign.
Definitely. Yeah. I think I'm the Ndebele crash for Amakokola Ami out there. Yeah. So tell me about your journey, how the development of Ndebele Crash brand came about.
So it was 2019.
Okay.
I was in Harare for a show. And this guy says, yo, Lady Tshawe, I'm such a big fan. You've always been my Ndebele crush. And I'm like, that's interesting. And somehow that tagline just rang. And I started tweeting a lot and hashtagging Ndebele crush. And then I was like, let me see how it would look on a t-shirt. Okay. So I spoke to a friend. I'm like, can we try and design something for Ndebele crush? We worked on it, and it was December of 2019 where I then gave friends t-shirts as Christmas presents. Ndebele crash. Just to feel, Wuti, does this work? And at that time, it was really just me gifting. And I was thinking, if I put it under the Lady Tshawe tag, it could be something that a fan or a friend can get as a gift from me to them.
Okay.
It was never about a monetary thing at that moment. And fast forward to 2020.
Don't fast forward. I want all the story. I want the whole story.
I want the whole story. So I think after December with the friends, they loved it. And then I got a couple of people inquiring.
Wanting the Ndebele
crash t-shirt. And I was like, okay, let me see what I can do. And my pricing then was just still very minimal, because I'm like, I don't see this, because I'm not a fashion designer. I can't claim to be someone who creates clothing. So I was like, let's see how that works, And then I sat down and I looked at this one t-shirt and I'm like, but this can be something that can start a conversation.
Okay.
Because I'm always about conversation. The conversation being, who am I? Ndebele. Obviously the crush can mean anything, but the chevrons speak about history, about identity. And Tina Ndebele, we're always looking for our identity in the South African Ndebele. And there's such a big difference between us and them. And we never quite know how to differentiate the differences and how to establish ourselves as a Ndebele from Zimbabwe. And I wanted us to start conversations about what does it mean to be Ndebele? What does it mean? What does it mean for our culture? What is our culture? And unfortunately, we don't have a traditional clothing per se. Like Ndebele in South Africa, we know it's the bright colors and we know it's the gold neck pieces. But what is it for us here in Zimbabwe? Because things change.
Are we on an identity crisis?
I wouldn't call it identity crisis. It was just about identity vacuum, per se, where we could adopt anything and everything.
We're more receptive
Yes.
of what's coming from South Africa.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that, because if you trace your lineage, we could possibly find relatives in South Africa because we are one people. Singamanguni. But every Nguni tribe has something that says, this is for Amaxhosa, this is Pedi and stuff like that. Tina Lapa is Zimbabwe. When we look at Ndebele, what is it?
Okay.
I haven't found the answer, but for me, it's about the conversations. It's nice for someone in the States wearing a Ndebele Crash t-shirt when someone says, "Oh, you're Ndebele from South Africa." They're like, "No,
I'm Ndebele
from Zimbabwe." And you start a conversation where you're educating someone that actually there's two types of Ndebele. And it doesn't mean we're not one, but the differences are also in our language, how we speak. Certain words are not the same. And it's also because of the migration that we took from there,
from SA, coming
here. So after that, we just then decided, let's try and make a business out of this. And to try and...
After you realize there is a potential
There's
market.
a potential market for this because people want to have something that they can identify with. And then we decided to start making T-shirts. And many a time it was more of just doing my pre-orders just as a side hustle. And during COVID times, it really was a hustle that helped me as an artist because I'm not performing anyway. And it was easy to just send things via courier services. And yeah, man, coming to date, it's a brand that has grown, still growing. I haven't arrived. I haven't achieved half the things that I want to see the label achieve. But I'm happy that a lot of people now know about it and a lot of people want Ndebele.
It's huge. I think now it's huger than you. It's a brand that identifies with the city.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm happy for it to be bigger than me.
Oh.
Yeah.
So now, where are we going to see this brand in the next coming 5 or 10 years?
I'm praying that it becomes a household brand that embraces who we are as Abantu, not only as Ndebele, but also the other minority groups in the country, your Kalangas, your Xhosas, your Tonga people, because we all need to have something that we can identify with. And I'm hoping that it goes beyond the borders. I mean, it's already gone beyond the borders of Zimbabwe, but to establish shops and places where people can physically go and experience and Ndebele Crash experience, whatever that may be in the next 5 years.
Definitely it's going to be coming through.
Yeah.
And how is it being a mom?
Wow, it's amazing. I never thought I would enjoy being a mom. It's a learning curve also. I'm learning more about myself as an individual mothering this other human who depends on me for everything, It has taught me how impatient I am, you know?
You're very...
Yeah, I thought I was patient.
But you ladies are known for patience, though.
Your isn't just kind of my genes. You lose it, you know. That's it. And it has also taught me how compassionate I am. I mean, I thought I was sensitive. I thought I was really compassionate. But when I had my child, I realized, I really, really, really am, I tend to feel things more than I
used to.
Yeah, I used to. But it's a beautiful journey to watch someone grow from being so tiny to running around, being a terrorist in the house, and lokhu umgijimisa, umkhuza.
Yekela lokhu wena.
Yeah. And wes umfana, so you can imagine.
Big up to the boy.
You can imagine the trauma that he gets us.
And how did you link up with the baby daddy?
Wow. I didn't think we are gonna go there.
We're going there.
We met at church.
Hallelujah. They're praying and watching.
We grew up in the same church and we sang in the same youth choir. And then
God is love indeed.
you know, and yeah, we drifted apart really when because he then traveled overseas and I was at school in South Africa and then probably reconnected 2013. Sixoxa nje, you know, because I was just like, now I'm
Umzalwane, hallelujah.
yeah, you know, and I'm thinking, what does he want? Because we have to mail my inboxes. I'm like,
Why?
you know? And then I remember reaching out to him saying, Naomi is coming to your city. Could you help her navigate herself? Because she was going for varsity. And I think that's when we started really chatting. Gatle. And as white people say, the rest is history, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
So talk unabani.
Unakai.
And the rest is Kaya. Yes, and the rest is Kaya. And with you being a mom and getting married, and how has it been in your journey of you as a multi-talented artist, creative to say?
It's been interesting in the sense that with every milestone or with every added responsibility that I have to now learn to navigate. I have to be Lady Tshawe. Then mele ngibe nguNoma. Then mele ngibe ngumama. Mele ngibe ngubaby. Omunye umuntu, you know? And mele ngibe ngumalukazana. So trying to...
You! And at the same time, we'll be Zimbabwean.
You know? And... but it's learning. Balance izinto, number one. And number two, letting people around you know what matters to you. So my journey as an artist, being an artist, people at home know. So my husband will know she's gone to work. Abazali labo futhi abadala babekwazi amadlodlo usabhizi ngomsebenzi, you know, and they allow you to explore who you are. So I'm grateful to have had a support system that always wanted to see me thrive in the things that I enjoyed. So balancing it, it's difficult because but once you find the rhythm, it's amazing.
Once you appreciate, this is who I am.
Yes, yeah.
So when does your journey begin of being an artist?
Wow. I mean, I've always been in the arts in the sense that I was always doing music here and there at church. A typical cliche story. Church, you know, choir, I was playing instruments. And so I was exposed to that. Umdala Layafuti was a poet and also a choir conductor for like university choirs. And I would always tag along when we was going for my practice sessions and hearing him sing as well. So I was always exposed to it. And just to go watch what was taking place there. So I've always been exposed to it. But I think my entry into the arts industry, especially Lapa Gobulawayo, was 2009.
Okay.
When I was a volunteer at Ibumba Festival. And that's when I started interacting with most of the artists who are now my brothers and sisters in the industry. And officially Lady Tshawe was introduced as Lady Tshawe 2013, 14, when we launched my first book.
Okay.
And we launched the brand Lady Tshawe. So and that's when it started.
That's when it took off.
Yeah, took off. Yeah.
So your first book, what's the name?
Inscriptions of an Inspired Soul.
Inscriptions of an Inspired Soul. Oh, well, what?
Poetry.
Okay.
So my entrance into the industry was via poetry. Although my love has always been acting and I was studying drama. But it was easy for me to work on being nervous, stage, whatnot, via poetry. So that's how I started. So I got introduced into the art scene as a poet.
As a poet. So how does the name Lady Tshawe come about?
Noma Shawegazi.
Oh, Noma Tshawe.
So Noma Shawegazi is mother of princesses.
Okay.
It means mother of princesses. And I just took Tshawe.
From the mother of princesses.
From the whole name Noma Shawegazi. And surprisingly also, I tell people this with pride. I'm from royalty. And when I was in my time in the Eastern Cape in South Africa, people would hear my name and they're like, how? Tshawe. So, kumaXhosa, some of their chiefs' royalty, Tshawe.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, but Ndebele, I'm not Xhosa or anything, but there's some, like, basically royalty, recognized royalty at that time. And it actually even affirmed why I would always like being called Tshawe. So I just adopted that, and I just didn't want to be called Tshawe. So Lady Tshawe, to remind myself to be composed and be a lady.
Come back to earth.
And come back to earth.
Come back to earth. And then the Sangiwe Nkosi.
We've been kissed or blessed by the king. That's what it means.
Oh.
Yeah.
Been kissed by Lobengola. Okay. So now, how do you get to like, okay, I'm in my creative space. I want to write a song. I want to write a poetry. Where is the inspiration coming from?
If I'm actively looking for inspiration or actively looking to write a piece of work, ngiyahlala phansi, cup of tea, never go wrong with it, tea. Guys, listen, it's my go-to drink. Abanye love their whiskey and whatnot. Me, tea. Like, let's not mess with tea. You can do coffee, yeah, it's okay, but coffee is
How many times a day?
I lose count.
Drinking tea?
Yeah.
Yo, because when you're getting in here into the studio, Archie is telling me, "Utandi tea."
Like njani. And angikhuliswa ngugogo. So you would think ukuthi maybe ngakhuliswa ngugogo, but not even.
Iti uyazithandela nje.
Ngiyazithandela.
Ingela chago uyafaka ilemon lakho.
Exactly.
Hey, nah.
Awuchago futhi I don't take.
Why? So how do you have your tea? Like
I'm
coffee?
lactose intolerant, unfortunately.
Hey. Yeah.
I enjoy it though.
Ziyabuya kuwe. Okay, so you ufaka iti yakho.
Put my tea, play music. So I usually like to listen to Afro jazz, Afro soul, neo soul, or go as old school as R&B, just to sort of calm me down, and to ease the many thoughts, and just start writing. And by starting to write is just me just writing words that come to my mind. Whatever words come to my mind, I start jotting them down. And then with time I go back, then I realize, okay, maybe the theme that I'm seeing with these words is this. So let me try and formulate that. But when I'm not actively looking for inspiration, anything, a rock can inspire me in that moment to just write something. A conversation with someone. If you say just one word in a sentence, it might spark, a poem, something, to write down. And that's how usually it works for me when I'm doing poetry. But ungafaka imali, so kuthiwa ufuna poem in the next 30 minutes, hayi iyapho.
Imali lana inspire.
Yeah, inspire.
You. And then there's no need for TV now.
No, there's not even. I
just asked you to write a poem for us, Enkundleni.
Yeah, I said I'll be writing as we're talking.
Okay.
I'm waiting for that spark of inspiration.
Definitely, it's already here. Mm-hmm. And then you collaborate with Ndebele on the project 44. How was
Day 44? Yes. Yeah. So I remember writing to Ndebele. I was still pregnant. And I was like, Ndebele, I'm bored endlini because it's lockdown. Can you write something for me to perform? I can do it endlini. You direct me, send to WhatsApp, and we'll upload it online. Because I wanted to keep being active and not and honing my skills as an actress. Then he's like, okay, Nzawukubalela something. And then I gave birth. When my son was about 2 months, that's when he said, I think I've got something for you, but it's a short film.
Okay.
And I'm like, let's do it. literally, I was still recovering from having given birth, and I'm on set, shooting day 44, and still tummy still big. I was not looking as pretty as I am today, And it was such a beautiful experience because I don't usually do on-screen projects.
Production.
And for me, it was a learning curve as well. And the story was so close to my heart because we were struggling with lockdown,
Lockdowns.
and we didn't know what to do. I used to struggle to get into town, being asked for a letter, where you going and whatnot. And lap, I'm trying to go for my doctor's visit, And so I could resonate and identify with what that character was going through. And working with Umgcini has always been amazing. He was my first director when I got into the scene, especially in the acting scene in Zimbabwe. He directed me on The Really Stupid Things Men Say, and that took me to Haifa. So I have worked with Umgcini on a number of projects, and it has, every time he directs me, he always wants to throw me into the deep end to see if I will
Push you
sink.
further.
Yeah. And I love that about him because he doesn't baby you, and it allows you to grow and to explore what you can do.
In this artistic space.
Yeah.
Okay. And everybody's like, wow, on 655.
Yo, guys, I was also wowing myself. Literally at an outer border experience when we were watching it. My first ever theater production.
Wait, so 655. It really happened 655.
Yes.
Okay, now you can tell me. I think I can be settled now.
But what do you mean really happened? As in, did it end at 6:55?
Yes.
Or did the storyline, because it was based on a true story.
So yeah, just take me through the journey.
So I'd
Because
say,
it's very fascinating, the 655 and how it happened.
okay, so I've always wanted to tell stories, and telling stories by someone else writing for me has been great. But I realize I also have stories that I want to tell. And one story that fascinated me was the story of my grandfather. And I never got to meet him. So I'm being told by Obaba, my aunts and uncles, Kulu, why so, stuff like that, And I'm like, I want to get to know this man. And when I got to go through some of the writings because he was a reverend, some of the things that were written about him.
Reverend Damasani.
Yes, he was Reverend Damasani. And my grandfather, not my father. So, but they're both reverends. So, and then I got to know about his last days on earth. And unfortunately, he was battling with depression in a time when us as Black people didn't think depression was a thing, and he was admitted to Enkundleni, and unfortunately then passed away there in the early hours of the morning, 6:55. And I wanted to sort of like celebrate a life that probably was not celebrated well enough, even amongst us as a family, because of the stigma of mental health. And also the fact that people didn't know that much what to do when it came to mental health. And so I told the story through the eyes of 4 characters. So one of the characters was a mirror image of my grandfather. And then the other 3 characters was me doing research on other mental health issues that we could talk about, that we are seeing in our Black communities. And I did the play in such a way that it would start at 6 and the last words being said would end at 6:55. And we did just that.
And it came out superb.
Yeah.
Okay. And now that you're talking about mental health, the stigma around people who have that kind of a condition, how best can we deal with it?
I think we have to start talking more about it. I mean, thina njengabantu abanyama sithanda ukuhleka abantu and you are depressed okwangaphi alawe, and we make fun of it, and sometimes we make fun of it not knowing
that you yes, because now what came to my mind was like, I think it's one of the most popular terms which are used within Bulawayo. I don't know about essay, like uyahlanya wena. You get it.
Uyahlanya.
And I think uyahlanya has broken a lot of marriages and caused a lot of fights.
You know?
Emabao.
Yeah.
And the idea and the talk of Enkundleni.
Yeah.
And then like if you have a relative Enkundleni or if you've
And awusoze ukhulume ngakho sibili. If you have a relative engutsheni, awusoze utshela abantu. Because you already have a preconceived understanding that people are going to look at you funny. Because that stigma is there. And it's because we are unaware. We are not educated enough about it. And the more we talk about it, I think the more we open ourselves to learning about it. It's not something that can... It shouldn't be something that people are afraid to talk about. You know, even when I fell pregnant and giving birth, it was only then when I realized, there's what we call postpartum depression.
Oh.
And I probably went through it without realizing it. Because like I'll be like, mudini, you know, in a way, and not realize that, but no, you're going through postpartum depression.
Hey.
So these are things that if we start talking about it openly and we allow ourselves about these things and get the necessary help. But then it's catchy, umntwana is acting out. Kanti maybe umntwana has, you know, something that they probably have split personality, something that can be helped by medication. And the child will live a normal life. But you already write them off because umntwana lo yezwa kumbe is cursed or waloa. So it shouldn't, we should just talk about it.
Yeah, especially amajita, they should
Exactly.
Not trying to but indoti weak, violent.
And you guys go through the most because you're working to put food onto the table for your families, whether you're married or whether you're taking care of your parents at home. You're doing so much and you don't realize the mental strain that you're going through. Yes. But you're afraid to talk about it.
Very true.
Very afraid. That's why I'm glad that Schumacher had that whole men's conference, because talking about these things as amachita would help. But
yes, it's training. Yeah, and looking at Zoom, I think Zoom has a lot of, like you said, there's
Postpartum depression.
Depression. I think in Zoom there's transport depression, there's electricity depression, there's a lot of forms of depression that are happening right now in our country. Spikes depression.
Yeah.
And I think we have to come to terms whereby we get to talk about this because now at the end of the day we're gonna have this fashion suicides.
And that's very scary. And some of these suicides could be prevented if we create safe places and spaces for conversations to take place. Because niyesaba to go for counseling because it's not a thing that tina bantu mnyama do.
Yeah.
You know, like, why am I going to speak to a stranger about my problems? Uzahambe tshela abantu. And we don't even trust pastors because of the things that we've heard them, because they'll preach about you on the pulpit on Sunday. You know, isn't it? Like, we've messed such things up for ourselves.
Yes, and looking at us, there's a saying that is being said, so I think such things, when people are going through them and everything, we just have to have a mind change,
shift,
a mind shift in a way. And then 655 was your first production to direct
and to write.
And now you talked about you directing, and it's your first experience, and you're coming into a space where it's male dominated.
Mainly, yeah.
Yes, mainly. How has been the journey on that kind of a space for you personally?
I'm grateful to say, when it came to the theater side with the directors, they were very welcoming and willing to teach what they knew when I knocked on their doors to say, okay, could you please come and look at what we've done in our rehearsal? Does this make sense from a director's perspective? You know, and stuff like that. And I've been able to call on people to say, I need help, I need ideas, can I vent, can I, just pick your brain on something. But it has also been challenging for me to say, what are the stories do I want to direct? And how do I want to direct it? What is my style of theater that I want to put onto the theater stage that will not only make sense financially as a business, but will also make sense as entertainment for people to come and sit down in a theater and watch. So it has been a good learning curve because I've only done 2 theater productions, written and directed by myself, and I think I'm ready to start doing that even more.
Even more. So who was one of the directors that you called on your dial-ups to come and...
Nkundleni, Memory Kumbota, I've spoken to Raised on Baya, Mambazo.
Okay.
So yeah.
So more like the big guns were...
The big guns, yeah.
The big guns were
So to
involved
say,
in your...
yeah.
Okay. So it's been quite a journey. So now you also talk about you present women empowerment.
Okay.
In a way. What do you think the entertainment space is like in Bulawayo, coming to how it accommodates ladies? Captain Azis Kiwa sometimes here side.
Guys, Kiwa is not our mother, guys. He came on a boat.
So, like, how is the space accommodated, especially here in Bulawayo?
I think
for the ladies.
I think the space is accommodative, but sometimes the space isn't as conducive. And I say this, if you look at the dance aspect, if you're a female part of a dance group, sometimes to make it, unfortunately, you have to warm up to the director. You'll have to do sexual favors or do some form of favors for them for you to just make it be recognized, be paid something of substance. And you have moments when we as women are really good at what we do, but we always constantly have to prove ourselves. You and I can be put in the same room to do the same job. And automatically, because you're a man, they'll give you the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, no, you can do it. But for me, they'll probably start questioning, so are you available to do it? I see you're married, you're a mother. Would you have time for this? Your qualifications, are you sure you legitimately, got them? Isn't it? Like, you're now questioning everything just to see if I can qualify. But our qualifications are both the same.
Okay.
So we always have to constantly prove our worth, which I think is quite unfair. And I feel like we need to get to a place where we have more females within power-making decisions within the arts industry.
Okay.
Not because we just want to have a piece of the pie. Yes, we do. But it also, I think, it sanitizes the way the industry could run. Okay. If you have a female. Like, we can't run away from the fact that, as females, we are motherly and whatnot. Certain things need that feminine touch that you as a guy can't. I have certain ways of looking at things
Your
that
perception.
And when you're having decisions and you're just seeing, there's no female, there's a problem. I'm looking in this room. I'm the only female, right? I mean, we have female videographers in the city. Why are they not standing behind the camera? Or even or females learning how to do sound to actually capture the sound? Isn't as in Jalo? Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, if you want to work with men in your company, kudos. But if females can penetrate that very same thing.
But we do have a sound engineer and a videographer who are ladies. I don't know what happened today. I think it's the transport issue. And then how was the experience working with Vusam Kaya on the project?
Oh, that was fun, guys. That was quite fun because you had like so many artists in one track. It was now like a Sungura song because it was 8 minutes long.
Sungura and hip-hop fusion.
But jokes aside, it was a really, really lovely experience just to be asked to even to be a part of it. There was, I think for poets, just myself and Desire Monoxide. But to be on a track with Vuyo Brown, Asaf, Novio Seagull, Mimi Tarukwana, and when we were shooting the video, we had the vocal X choir there. Like, it was really nice and pleasant to see Bulawayo artists from different genres come together and create something that speaks about Bulawayo. I mean, I know a lot of people had their own 2 cents to say, 2 cents about the song, but I feel like it was a start in the right direction to celebrate Bulawayo, for people to see that artists can actually come together and do something, not just to promote themselves as individual artists, but to promote the city that we love.
Which is the aim of Enkundleni.
Exactly.
Exclusive, yes. So now you're saying, like, do you think a lot of, like, locally, a lot of artists don't work together?
I mean, I think we do work together, but on the streets, people think we don't. On the streets, I think people believe that we still need to always come together, band together, but we don't also look at it from a creative point of view. What does it benefit for me to work with Asa, for example? How does it work with who I am as a poet? Can it work? Can it not work? Things like that. We're always quick to say, but artists don't come together. They don't support each other. But we do. I feel like we do. But also it's relative. It's up to me to see how far I go into.
How far you make the move towards working with other artists and
Yeah.
collaborating. And then Dubai. How was it there?
Yo, Dubai was beautiful. That's a beautiful place, actually. I want to go back.
But right now there's talk of Dubai. Like,
Yeah, well, before this whole video came out, Dubai was like, yeah, beautiful. I want to go back. And then you see, it's funny how this video, when it came out, and we're seeing what some women go through just to look like they're living the life, There's a place in Dubai where most of us as the artists went just to do a bit of shopping, and it's called Banya Square. And in that place, you are seeing most of the Africans from Nigeria, Sudan, Ghana, Zimbabwe. I think it's like our Chinatown, it's like our Mbare, type of thing. And, we looked at them and we're like, some of these people probably don't even have legit papers. Abanye are probably working like slaves in someone's house or in someone's business. But when they go home, or when they when they send money home, or when they take pictures, it looks like they're living the life. And it's very sad, because people left a home or a country where they couldn't really live, gahle, comfortably, to then go and suffer even more in another country just to try and get better money.
So none of our guys that you had gone with partook in the whole...
No.
You never know. You might drop
this,
a bomb.
This I can vouch. This none of our guys. I mean, we didn't. But funny enough, we saw really nice people there. Abangale Sibili, who were very friendly. So our experience of Dubai is so different from what we saw in that video.
But it's funny, because I think I knew about this like 5 years back. I knew it has been happening, the whole thing. So when it came out recently,
yeah,
and people are like, it's happening. Now, I didn't like get shocked.
I think we knew, Uti, there's always an evil side to being overseas, to being in a place that is not home. We didn't think it could be like that, though. I mean, I've heard of people who say, you're like, you don't have time to breathe. And you're thinking, you're probably working from 6 to 6, or, long, strenuous hours, isn't as in Jalo. But you never thought, Uti, you'd have to open your mouth.
And Dubai is the shit, man.
Pun intended, I'm sure.
Yeah, so like how was your performance? Like that side?
It was lovely.
At the reception?
The reception was good. So we performed twice. On both occasions, people were amazed. And I'm not saying this because we were on stage, but legit. Legit, you could tell that people were enjoying. So like one of the performances, it was on the Angolan stage, and Abantu are passing by, going to other pavilions of other countries, and they would stop. When they just stopped. The moment when Unkwali did her ululation, Liana, like people just stopped and phones were out taking videos, watching the dancers. The Iyasa girls were dancing amazingly. Like everything, because it was in sync and the creativity was top notch. Everything was like a showstopper.
So we really have something to export.
We have always had something to export.
So what has been happening then?
I think we had a conversation earlier, the captain, about this, but I think it's
Captain Black Russian.
I think it's a matter of us not even fully recognizing our worth and what we can bring to the table. Number one. And obviously, maybe we don't have the money to just say, I want to go and perform in Dubai or something like that. Because that needs money for your tickets, your accommodations and stuff like that. But we have products. I'm never shocked to hear Nobuntu performing to sold out events, or for some Kaya performing to sold out events.
In Washington, D.C.
Because the product is there. When IASA goes overseas, they fill up places. Mm-hmm. When Siaya was overseas with Zambezi Express, they were always sold out every night. There are so many people from Bulawayo, Unkwali, or Robin. They perform to sold out.
Did you watch the episode with Robin?
Yes, I did.
It's crazy, that one.
Yeah.
Too much weed on him.
Quite. So we have a product. And it's world class. It's top tier, guys. Mm-hmm. Like I kid you not. Whatever is coming from Bulawayo, whatever is coming from Zimbabwe,
because the moment you said people took out cameras when she was doing the Mbululu thing or whatever it was, I realized then there is a market there.
No, there is a market. There is a market. We're just not tapping into it. And unfortunately, sometimes we are waiting for someone to
come and tell us.
Yes, to give us that opportunity. Yes, it's okay if you have the ability to open a door for me. Please open it. But with this Kaita, I also need, if I see that very same door, I need to come and bulldoze, knock on it many times so that I can, also make it. Because I think that's where we're missing it. We are waiting for someone to give us something on a silver platter. And it can't work like that. We need to get up and work.
Okay. So Dubai, there's something for us there. I think we have to...
it's all over the world, guys.
So we need what? What were they talking about? Exposure, influencer. I don't know what it is.
I don't know if... I think we're exposed because I also look at exposure in terms of how well-read we are. We have access to Google. So we actually know these things. We know these places. We've seen people perform. If people are going to talk about Kanye West, they know what they're talking about because they have seen it on YouTube. They have researched on it. So we are exposed. I think we're limited by resources sometimes. We're limited also by just our will to work. And we're limited by how we even...
limit ourselves in our thinking.
Yeah.
I think with Bulawayo, I think goes along those lines. Because there's a way one or the other, someone is going to throw a bad vibe on it, like, A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe what has to happen is there has to be more promoters and people who make you sign contracts for $5 and use you so that you feel like, I think I have a product that sells.
I worked for that $5. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, like how other artists, you hear how SA artists cry, like, I've been used. I think here we need people that are going to use you like you feel like, guys, I was used. I taught the whole world.
Yeah.
And then I have nothing to show off it. But I think that kind of experience, because I think we need that experience. Touch, feeling.
I hear you.
Somebody that's going to go out there and like, guys, there's something that we can sell. And then everybody is on it. Because I think we really do have a product that we can sell.
And it's in every genre within the art sector, whether it's dance, music, poetry, theater. We have something that can be sold outside our borders. Like, it's legit truth right there. We just need to tap into it.
And you in front of the late President Robert Mugabe, did you ever hope at some point in time you would perform in front of him?
No. Never.
You didn't anticipate that?
No.
And then it came?
It came, and I think it was that seat of just you performed in front of a president, like is amazing in of itself. And you're doing what you love. You're doing what you're called on earth to do. I'll take us back to church. The scripture in the Bible says, your gift shall make room for you
Hallelujah.
and place you amongst kings, And kings in this sense could be leaders of countries. For me, it's always humbling to say, yep, even the Dubai one, I performed in front of the sheikh. Nilapa, he's literally just ngangapa with tafel. That's how close he was.
with him.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Never said a word to him, never shook my hand or anything. But the fact that we're standing there, he's sitting there, phone is out.
And at that point in time, he's listening to you.
Exactly.
That's all you need.
And that's all that matters. And that's something that I will brag about because I worked for it. I did it.
That space, that energy that you have. I think
Yeah.
that's all we need.
That's all we need.
Besides $1 million, you'll be fulfilled. Like at least I was.
It makes the dream make sense. It makes the work that we do make sense.
So do you have a project like that you're working on? Right now?
Yeah, a couple.
Snitch on yourself.
I am slowly getting back into the poetry scene. I had taken a hiatus. So I am working on doing a poetry EP. And then also working on doing another theater production.
Oh.
Yeah.
Definitely I'll come and watch that one.
Please do.
And last year you were involved very much in the Blaawai Arts Festival. How was the whole thing coming out? Was it your first time being part of a project of that magnitude, or you've been like involved?
I was involved in the first Blaawai Arts Festival when we did it during lockdown, but that one was quite chilled because it was still closed and stuff like that, and was just recordings. Last year's, in terms of behind the scenes production, it was quite hectic. It was quite hectic. For me, I was there to learn. So I have found out that I like doing behind the scenes work. And I think I'm enjoying it a lot to understand what it takes for me to look good on stage, what it takes for people at home to see me look good on stage. So working on logistics, on the administration and stuff like that, and production in of itself was quite an eye-opener and quite an experience. Tired, yeah.
Afterwards. And you really pulled quite a huge show. Like it was very nice.
Yeah, especially with the opening.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, the whole festival. It was just wow. Though minor glitches here and there, and you know them. Yes, and you know them.
Yeah.
Are we going to have another one this year?
I am not sure. I think so. I haven't yet been called. So the hope is probably we're going to have one because they have been saying they want to make it annual. So
please make it happen.
We need such things in the city.
Yeah, we need more of those.
Yeah, we need more of those. Yeah,
make it happen. Enkundleni Exclusive is behind you. We support you. Nothing is perfect in a way. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect, but that's how we grow.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how we grow. Remember, Enkundleni started with 1 subscriber.
And then look at you now.
We're not yet there. We're not yet there.
But it's always good to celebrate the small wins.
Yes. So I think us as a team, we understood like, okay, it's part of the game.
Yeah.
It's part of the game. It's part of growth in a way. Because it was so nice. Definitely something had to pop up. Thank you for coming and leaving your t-shirts. Definitely I'm coming for your t-shirts. Thank you, Nyabonga. Enkundleni Exclusive, the Info show. Thank you very much. Please subscribe on YouTube. Press that subscribe button and follow us on Facebook. Like the page and follow us on Twitter. And where can people find you?
So on all social media platforms, all of them, including TikTok and Snapchat. It's Lady Tshawe. So that is LadyTshawe. LadyTshawe. So on all media platforms, it's Lady Tshawe.
So for ladies that want to collaborate with you, for ladies that want to work with you, isn't it? We want to create a space,
Yes.
a safe space for it. That's what I'm saying for ladies. We're not saying guys don't come. For ladies who want the opportunity to work with you, how do they get in touch with you?
So you could either DM me on any of those platforms, and then you can then get my number. Okay, actually, my number is public knowledge. So +263 774 670 421. +263 774 670 421. If you're going to troll me and send funny messages, I block.
Block?
But yes, I'm open for collaborations for anyone wants to be mentored or just needs help. I'm glad to offer that free of charge.
Thank you, Sabonga. If you want PA system, contact Deb3 Events. If you want videography, contact ORG Media. If you want an MC or someone to hang around with on a weekend, MC, you can. Thank you. Nyabonga, the From Film for Show, Enkundleni, exclusive. You can go and miss Sipo Mason Dinyati.